Hello everyone, welcome back to Debugged. In lesson 6, we move from single variables to storing multiple values using arrays. Arrays are essential in programming because they allow us to group related data inside one structure. So, what is an array? An array is a container that holds multiple values of the same type. Imagine a row of numbered boxes. Each box holds one value, and each box has an index starting from 0. So, for example, we have box 0 that has our first value. Then we have box 1 that has the second value, and so on. Box box 3 that contains our third value. In programming, arrays let us manage large amounts of data easily. So, let's create our first array. It will be of type int numbers equals, let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. This is a shorthand way to create an array with predefined values. There is also the second way, int ages equals with a new int array which contains 5 elements in total. And then in order to add, we have to do it for each specific position or ages 1 equals 21, ages 2 equals with 25, ages 3 equals with 30, and ages 4 equals with 35. Here we create an empty array of size 5, then assign each value separately. The size is fixed, we cannot grow or shrink it later. Now, if we want to print, we should do it like, oh, yeah, we do it in, sorry, we done it in the wrong place. That was why we had all these errors. Always we have to execute code inside main. Otherwise the program doesn't know where we execute what. So now let's write system.println numbers, a specific number in position 0 and then in position 2. So if we run it, we take 10, which is in position 0, and 30, which is a position 2, because always we start to count from 0 in programming. Always we use 0-based indexing. Now let's add that 1 equals with 99, and then system.out.println numbers from position 1. We simply assign a new value to the chosen index. And the length property. So if we write system.out.println length plus numbers our array dot length, then the length property tells us how many elements the array contains. Now, about looping through arrays. Arrays become powerful when combined with loops. The loop allows us to process all values efficiently. So, for example, if I write for I int I equals 0, I less than numbers dot length I plus plus, and then system.out.println index plus I plus numbers in position in index I. Let's run this. We loop from 0 to length minus 1. This prints every element in this array. Now let's also add for int value in numbers, then system.out.println value plus value. This is called an enhanced for loop. And if we run this, we get again the values of the array numbers. The hence for loop is perfect when you don't need the index. It simply iterates through all values. Now, let's do a practical example. Let's say an array of type int, which is scores, equals with 90, 70, 80, 100, and 85. Int total equals 0, and for int score out of scores, then total plus equals score. Then double average equals double total divided by scores dot length in order to find the average. And then let's print this. Average score equals with the average. So now let's run this. The average score is 85.0. This is a typical array task, summing all the values and calculating an average. Now let's do a practical example of finding the max value. Let's say that int max equals with scores in index 0. For int score in scores, then if score greater than max, max equals with score. System.out.println and then highest score equals plus max. This is a common real-world operation, scanning through all values to find a maximum value. Multidimensional arrays. Java also supports multidimensional arrays. A 2D array behaves like a table. So then, a 2D array of type int named grid equals with 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. And then system.out.println grid 1, 2. We'll explore these. Oh, wait, why we have an error here? Oh yeah, it misses one bracket. So it was a typo. We'll explore this in more depth later. This is just a preview to get an idea. So now let's outline some common mistakes that beginners make. Mistake number one, index out of bounds. So for example, if we try to print ln numbers in index 10, which doesn't exist, this is totally invalid. And probably we will get an error, out of bounds error. Mistake number two, using wrong loop bounds. So for example, for int I equals 0, I less or equals numbers dot length I plus plus. This is wrong. The less or equals causes one loop iteration too many, leading to an error. So for example, if we run this, yeah, this is just a bad practice. Mistake number three, confusing length with the last index. So if we write length is the number of elements, last index equals with length minus 1. Mistake number 4. Arrays have a fixed size. If you need a dynamic resizing, we will use array lists later. So think about that in arrays you store values like the days of week, which are values that are not going to change in the future. So let's do our quickly recap. Today we learned what arrays are, how to create them, how to access and modify elements, the length property, looping through arrays with for and for each, calculating averages, finding maximum values, the multidimensional arrays, and common mistakes to avoid. Arrays are the foundation for organizing and processing data in Java. So, in lesson 7, we extend this idea by introducing ArrayList, a dynamic data structure that can grow and shrink. This is a structure most real applications use. Until then, see you.